Hi guys, welcome back to Ultimate Scale RC. I'm Matt. Alright, so the last video we went ahead and fused the firewall to the front clip so that it can be removed. And so that is ready for some post-processing. Um what I'm gonna do is this one side is a little lower than the other, so I'm gonna do a quick repair to that um using the support structure. So I'm gonna do that real quick because that'll take some time to cure. Let's look at my scissors. So I'm gonna cut a couple ribbons out of this. And then I'm also gonna shim my door. So just cut a piece of that out, and then you see the ribbons here. So all I'm gonna do is just cut a small piece out, roughly the size of the of this, and then glue it on. Let's see if I can get my brush pliable again. Alright, should probably have a clamp ready. Alright. Alright, so while it's doing that, I think I'm gonna kind of fill in this backside. With my brush would I need to add a little more. It's get kind of thick. This brush is yeah, I'm gonna have to do some more um work with the slurry, so I'm gonna get a new brush. It's gonna kind of seal off this back edge here. And then later on, once that's set, actually, I'm gonna move this up. That's already pretty much set. All right, so that's already like cured. So I'm just gonna cut my access off while it's still pliable. Basically, I just cut it like that. Yeah, so now I'm gonna kind of blend that in so you'll never know it's there. And then what I'm gonna do is do this top side. Right? So I'm gonna kind of set this like so. Try to get as level as I can. And we'll let it heal. And then we'll move on to the cab. Okay, so one thing I'm gonna do on this is shim the doors out about 50 thousandths. So I'm gonna do again. I'm gonna stack a bunch of this up, and then I'll cut it to size after it's glued. Last time I did it piece by piece, and it took forever. But all right, so yeah, that'd be a good idea to do that now. And I think these shallower ones here are gonna be the ticket. Use the pair of side snaps. All right, so I'll let this set up for a couple hours. So, I got these pockets filled in here. Got this all filled in nice. And then we welded the back in here. So now we're ready to prep this for filler. So I'm going to try a razor blade first. First, I'll switch to 100 grit kosher. High spot right there. Then I'm going to. This is too funny. We'll knock that down with this. This is working better, I think. You can kind of use a combination of files and sandpaper. Like I'm pushing out with my hand. That's kind of the problem with the laser blade because it's pushing in and it's kind of missing what I'm trying to get. Then while I'm doing that, I'm gonna get this here. You want to add this? There's like a line right here where the rocker meets that cab corner. So if you want, you can put that in there. First, I'm gonna probably spill over it. That's okay, I'll redo it. RC4WD drive, it's the wrong way. That's one reason I don't add it to the file because you probably will just glass over it anyway. So I'm kind of roughing this in right now, but see here. All right, so what I'm gonna do, well, yeah, well, let's not rough this up. But I'm gonna kind of trace around that. You could tape it as well. Actually, I think I am gonna do it that way. Or you could just hit it with a light coat of primer. But I would think I'd rather tape it so I can peel it off. This just so I'm not doing excessive sanding. Especially for this initial fill. Alright, so I'm gonna mix some up and then I'll fill all that in and then I'll probably do a 220 fan and then primer it. Well, depending on how that comes out, I may have to add more. So to do, use a coarse paper to knock the work out, cut it down, and then once you're getting closer to primer, then you start going up in your drip. Uh, so I need filler. And then I need some cardboard. All right, let me get some cardboard. All right, so I'm gonna have to work fast because I'm gonna start with that dent in the roof. I'm feeling that's way too much. This is probably gonna be the last of this one. Got way too much. Running out of time. Ah, I knew I was gonna do that. Oh no. Yeah, it makes way too much up. Well, maybe I should find the chores. Oh, it's already starting to set up. And I got a partial door done. Yeah, I hate wasting that. This stuff's expensive. Alright, so I'm gonna let that set up and then we'll get some, yeah, definitely probably grab some 100 grit and knock it down to that. And then it probably will be ready for primer. Um, I don't know, I could probably do some work in here. It's not that you gotta see it though. I'm not trying to get that perfect. I'm just trying to knock any of the goobers and blobs blobs out. Like this right here. The primer paint alone will fill in a lot of this stuff. All right, so I'm gonna let that set up, and then I'll come back. I'll probably end up probably sand this up off camera. I mean, once we're to this point, it's really this is where I kind of cut you loose, to do with it with what you will, how you want to do it. I mean, if you're going to be tackling this project in the first place, you most likely can do this body work. So I'm not going to go over too much more of this. I'll probably sand it up, get it in primer. I'll do the doors. The doors, however you want to do it. You could sand them first or glaze them with some putty, like I was doing here. Um, if you need to be real light and just fill in the fill lines, yeah, that cuts your work down. And I like to smooth this here. Just try to get them smooth. Don't worry too much about like this front edge because you can't see that anyway. And then yep, we'll slap the hinges on it. Or actually, the hinges will go on the cab, and they're gonna get painted. Because the real one, the hinges are painted. Even the bolts are painted. So I'm gonna paint the hinges right on the cab. And then once it's primed, the doors will go back on front, and then I'll be moving on to the tutorial for the front clip. All right, so we'll see here in a bit. All right, so I got most of the body work wrapped up. I got a few areas I got to touch up. That and I put a big fingerprint on it, messing with it, doing a little touch up with primer. All right, so um, I went a little too far on my shims, so I'm gonna have to remove a little bit of material to get the lower hinges correct. Um, so this is actually isn't even bolted on there, but I'm a little bit too far out. Maybe I should actually. Yep, I went like 15 thousandths too far. Actually, on both on this side. Um, let me see here. Let me get a pair of calipers. I don't really need to bolt this together as long as I got it pushed on there tight. That's showing 25 thousandths. Of course, this thing isn't quite repeating. 20 thousandths. And then on this side, this is actually perfect. It's just this lower. Now it's quite a bit. It's about, let me go up here where the hinge actually is. That's where you probably should be taking it. It's about 30 thousandths there. All right, so we're gonna fix that and then conclude the cab module build, and then I'll be working on this next. We'll do the front end front clip module, and I got something new I'm gonna add, and that is my marker light. Um, because if you saw the recent video of the box, I designed my own marker light step for the step side, right? So if you're gonna have them in the back and you do this box, then you're gonna want the matching one up front, right? Versus the RC4 drive, or if you go the Traxxas one, it still isn't gonna match mine. So I designed my own. And what did I just lose? So anyways, what I come up with is you'll get a set of these with the front clip, and then there's a plug. This is the one I used for this side. And basically what you're gonna do is you'll hog this area out. You're gonna hog that pocket out with a Dremel, and we got one of them bits. Let's see if I can, if you got one of those, or you'll want to get one or something similar, and you'd be surprised how accurately you can take this out. And I could almost do it without needing to do this, but I goofed up one little spot, and so I was like, all right, well, and we need a backup plan anyway, so I screwed it up on purpose. And basically, what you do, if you look on this one, you can see how good a border around my plug, and that's because I beveled it. So you want to get a good bevel area. I didn't do that on this side, or at least not like I did on that side. And there's a little piece right there that kind of chipped out of there. So I may have to fill that with filler. I'll put the plug back in it and put some filler in there. But it worked. It worked great. And with that, this is really a good thing because that opens up the possibility of developing a conversion to convert these fenders to the new style front clip. And basically it's going to be a plug just like this that you'll install where the the horizontal marker light goes on the newer style. And all you're going to do is just shape this around and bring that body line straight forward. It's actually almost shaped like it. This isn't shaped like this corner right here is really sharp. So it's actually already shaped sort of like a new style. And then it's just a matter of redesigning the grill. And I could take this existing radiator support and just modify it for the newer style. The hard part about this is going to be doing the separate valance piece that will go over where this one is. We probably have to remove some of this material. I don't know. I haven't got there yet, so I don't know. But um, so I'll create a valance, and then we're gonna have to relocate the mount shims and bring them forward, which isn't a big deal because we can glue in a 3D printed piece to go there, and possibly use the existing boss as a anchoring system for that, and then just recreating a new hood, 3D printing it, and I'll do that. And I was thinking about that. What I'll do is I'll print it sideways, right? So let me. So what I'll do is I'll print it like that. So it's printing the layers like that, and then your bottom piece, there'll be two pieces. So you're printing it this way, and then this is printed flat. And then you put them together, and then you epoxy them together or fuse them together. That'll be good. It'll have full integrity in both directions. So it'll be just as good as ABS hood. But yeah, creating that geometry, I can create this part, no problem. I'm not worried about that. It's this where that curves up, and then you got to cut that round. That's gonna be a bugger. But actually, if you put something flat on this plane, I can create a plane in CAD where that is, and then draw a line where that arcs. And then all I gotta do is create a profile to cut that, and then I can make CAD sweep that that line right there and cut this out. So actually, I think I can create this hood no problem. But I did a whole video segment on this. This is I use this hood to create a plug, and I use the epoxy to create a hard surface. But I screwed up. I put it in too cold of a environment for it to set up, and it fisheyed all like you see it. Looks so now I gotta sand it all out. I'm gonna try to salvage it, but um, it's not as good as it could be anymore. So I'll just leave it at that. So, anyways, back to this. We gotta get this done. These videos have been pretty long, but they are what they are and what they need to be. To show you how to do this and show you the ins and outs. Normally I don't have to like reshim, but I goofed on this one, so it's not a big deal. Ooh, this one's really tight, so I'm gonna have to. It's actually not so much the this direction, right? So right, it's the gap. Two ways you could do that. You could shim this side, but wouldn't like that. So I'm actually gonna scribe a line with these, um, to get the same gap as I got over here. I don't know why that changed. I did change the hinges, but my gap here hasn't changed. So we'll adjust that. So I close that up. So I like that. We're pretty close. I think I am gonna take that top hinge in just slightly on, but I'm gonna do that off camera. I've showed you what you got to do. These are the tutorials, you know. This is supposed to be part two, not part three. How's the body line look? That looks pretty good. Uh, but that looks great now. It's actually this side. I need to take off a little bit on the bottom, or I can shim it. You know what I'm saying? I could actually shim it here. There now. Actually, I think that's what I am gonna do. That worked out great. Yeah, so there's different ways to go about it. This side's golden now. All right, so yeah, we're gonna conclude the video. I think I've gone over everything on the cab module. So next video will be the full flip, and then yeah, we're gonna do our new marker lights. So we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.